Welcome to An Hour with Sir Noni, the program dedicated to unlocking the power of knowledge and critical thinking. Each week and each episode, we are going to dive into the different topics, compelling topics, bringing you insights and engaging discussions that challenges our perspective. Today, we are going to have a one-on-one interview with the ALS district supervisor, the focal person in the schools division of Zamboanga del Norte, Sir Lenny Boy Villeno. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Noni, and good morning to your viewers.
Okay, so here we are going to have to talk about kanang gitawag na to og alternative learning system. Because there are so many things that we do not understand when it comes to ALS, sir. So today we are going to clarify things. We are going to look at what ALS really is, and we are going to be discussing the challenges that our ALS teachers are facing. So, sir, unsa man gining ALS?
Okay, so alternative learning system. So ALS is alternative learning system. It's just like it's a parallel system, comparable also with our formal school system because we are following now the K-12 program.
Yes, sir. When you say parallel system, ato ko nang i-explain what do you mean by parallel system?
So meaning if we say parallel, so the competencies that we could find in the formal school system could also be in the alternative learning system.
So when we say ALS, it is really part of the mainstream sa atong education.
Yes, we can say because our curriculum is patterned with the K-12 already.
But the difference is in the delivery of the instruction.
Yes, because we are into the flexibility of our instruction.
So sir, kinsa man yun ang atong ikiter aning ALS, atong klaruhon sa atong mga audience and all those who are with us in this podcast, atong klaruhon kung kinsa man yun ang mga learners that are being catered sa atong alternative learning system.
Okay, thank you very much with that question. Actually, we have our basic literacy program which will cater now the non-literates that we have in our communities. So those learners who could be in that program could be those ages from 12 and above. So that's for our basic literacy program. Then we have also our accreditation and equivalency elementary. Those also children aging from 12 and above. And then for our EE junior high school, we have those learners aging from 16 and above. So that's the program.
So
But now, if I may add, so since school year 2023-2024, because the central office is really advocating with the 10-point agenda of our former president, Rodrigo Duterte, in which there should be an expansion program of the ALS. That's why in Region 9, specifically our own division, we have catered now our senior high school program, of which right now we have already covered the whole province of Zamboanga del Norte. So meaning, in each municipality, we have already our senior high school program.
That's good, sir. So again, ang atong ALS karon na natay elementary, junior high school, and we also have senior high school.
Well, of course, kato ang mga non-literates, the basic literacy program.
So ang atong i-cater sa elementary, sir, unsa ganito ang age?
So starting from 12 years old and above.
12 years old and above ang para elementary and high school. Sa junior high school,
16 years old and above.
16 years old and above. And sa senior high are those?
For senior high school, actually those who completed the junior high school. However, because we have also to consider their age. So for us to admit in the senior high school program, for those who have completed the junior high school, they must have to be 18 years old and above. But then there is also a guideline, or this specifically in our Republic Act 11510, this is our ALS Act, of which we have these so-called special cases, of which they may not be 18 years old, but then because of their special cases, like for example, this mga mothers na to, mga working individuals, so they could not be able to attend the formal school system because of their circumstance or perhaps because of these cases. And so we cater that in
Senior
the
high.
senior high school.
Yes.
Not and
Yes.
also not specifically that they completed in the arts program. Also we catered also those not in the arts program in their junior high school, but then they are in those special cases at what we have mentioned. Just like also mga PDL kanang nasa ato ang
Yes,
prisuhan,
yes.
ano so in our facilities, like for example those children in conflict of the law.
So they are also catered sa atong senior high school.
Yes, they are also
Okay,
catered.
so I think that we are also campaigning for those people that has special circumstances to enroll in the our senior high school.
That's why we are very glad
Oh.
for this interview, because we could advocate our program in alternative learning system. Because not even in our own province, but also the nearby provinces of which our arts in Zamboanga del Norte could cater them.
Okay, sir. So thank you very much. So I think ang atong ALS is a thing that that caters to those people nga naa sa special circumstances, and they need flexible ang ilang time, and they need flexible also nga program in education so that they can graduate sa atong K-12, especially
That's correct.
senior high school, because senior high school ALS is relative new to us. Now, let us talk about ALS teachers as public schools district supervisor, sir.
Education program supervisor.
Education program supervisor, sorry. And the focal person. So, I know that you are going around in the province of, in our province, monitoring our learning centers, monitoring our ALS teachers, monitoring the delivery of instruction, and I know that many of them are having their learning centers dito gud sa mga bukid-bukid.
That's right.
Oh, dito gud sa mga bukid-bukid, and pretty much atong mga ALS teachers lahi ni siya og iyang experience ato mga regular nga teachers, because ang atong regular nga teachers natay regular nga classroom, natay regular nga school, ingon ko regular man po ning ALS, pero ang atong mga learning centers are atong dili siya pareha sa structured nga schooling, because we are catering sa mga community nga nanginahanglan og flexible time. Now, sir, I know that there are so many challenges that are faced by our ALS teachers. One of this is kanang lagyo kayo, sir. So, can you elaborate on that?
I will, of course, because we are experiencing climate change, di ba? We are experiencing climate change. And we know for the fact that since we are even
Sige, sir.
situated in those areas, even far from those what we call in the formal school system, the last mile schools, we cater even beyond those last mile schools. I have been there, I have visited several CLCs already, or community learning centers throughout this province, and we have seen those situations on which weather condition could be one of the challenges that we have, because every day our arts teachers, so by the way, we do not call them anymore arts implementers, but with
Yes.
the advent of Republic Act 11510 or our Arts Act, we are now called as arts teachers, whether they are teacher 1 or master teachers in the arts. Now, looking at this circumstance on which weather condition could be one of those challenges that we have faced, and I myself have been also in that dilemma of which we cross rivers during flood time, and this is really the very scenario that we have in the alternative learning system. And then for the fact that since we have this very diverse learners that we have, for example, if we have our junior high school, of which they have stopped during the first year or grade 7, and there are also those who stop their formal schooling in grade 8. So meaning, we have composite learners in our respective community learning centers. So meaning, their learning capabilities could vary because
Yes.
of their learning experiences, no? And this is what we face in our community learning centers. And we should have to also to cater them all in one setting, because they are part of the junior high school program. Same true with elementary.
Okay, sir. So, really, in summary, ingon lang nato nga there are so many challenges faced atong ALS teachers, ranging from the delivery of instruction, padulong pod siya sa mga community learning centers nato,
That's
which
right.
are located
And,
lagyo yun siya, lagyo, no?
And in addition also, we have also this learning crisis in terms of their attendance. We know that according to the theory of proximal development, zone of proximal development, that we need to scaffold, no? We need to scaffold. There should be a support from the expert or from our teachers down to the learners. But of course, with this flexibility, we only met once in a week, but of course, there are modules. But then again, for the fact that there are also limitations along with it. And for the fact also that the attendance could be one of the challenges that we have come across with the program.
How did the teachers, how the ALS teachers manage to address this attendance problem? What are the things that they are doing?
Actually, because of their this scenario of attendance, almost and this week we have this number of learners, and in the following week we could see other faces from among these learners.
So maglain-lain, sir.
Lain karon, lain lang natuga, sunod lain na po. But then we need also to have this resiliency among our ALS teachers with this kind of situation. Having been served in the alternative learning system for 7 years, we come across with this scenario, and we have adapted already with this situation every year or every school year. And so we'd like to note that because we have our ALS teachers who are going there, in their respective areas or barangays or community learning centers, we see to it that these learners that we have could be given their modules, because we are thinking also that using that flip approach. So flip approach is just like bringing those materials at home, and then they have their own pace of doing their learning at home. But then, of course, we open our communications with the teacher and the learner, so that every time they will be having questions, so they could call the teachers at once, and then possibly help could be given by this learner.
So, in other words, it's not only the face-to-face interaction, but sometimes pwede mag-cellphone, pwede
Cell phone, so it is really it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
A hybrid.
So, the more that they are going to be able to attend the classes.
Oh yes,
Ah.
because much preferable in the alternative learning system should be hybrid. So it should have to be that there is face to face, and then at the same time, there should be the use of our social media could be one of those things that we need in alternative learning system.
Okay, sir. So that is for our ALS teachers in the delivery of instruction. I know that our ALS teachers, because it is not really the kind like the formal schools that we have, that there is also really a structure in the hierarchy. So in our formal schooling, because the school is really structured, that is why there are several positions that are being offered. So because this is going to lead me to my question about the challenges in career progression sa ating mga ALS teachers. So promotion kasi wala namang mga principals doon sa mga learning centers natin. So more or less limited ang ilang career progression. Is that true?
No, we don't experience that in our own division. We are very lucky that we have these leaders in our schools division. From the time in 2017 up to now, we have no problem about promotion actually. Because we do understand, I for myself, together with our education program specialist in the arts, so when you say education program specialist in the arts, they covered several districts. So they are the very direct people to lead a certain cluster of which they see to it that career progression of teachers should have to be also to be undertaken in consideration. Like for example, in our own division, we have already produced 18 master teachers. Look at that.
ALS,
ALS.
Yes.
But then, you know, so we have no items for our own in the alternative learning system. But then we could also have to be compliant with the requirements with the formal school system. So it's just like those items are coming from the formal school system. And we took the advantage because they have also been so competitive enough and they are qualified for such items. So they have been given the item.
So the items available for our formal schools are also available, can
Yes.
be availed by
Yes,
our ALS teachers.
because of our equal opportunity principle.
So that's it. So one of the misconceptions there is wala kayong mga items for ALS. Pero in reality,
oh yes.
ang formal schooling the items are also offered to ALS teachers.
Okay. If I could remember, there was actually a time when we were given 16 items from the task force before during the time of ASIC Ambat together with our director, Dr. Marilet Almeida, of which our division was given then 16 items for the ALS.
Yes.
And then because that time, during the time of the incumbency of our former school division superintendent, Dr. Pedro Melchor Natividad, before those items given by the central office, he already gave 30 items to the ALS. 30 items to the ALS. Teacher 1 item for the ALS. Actually, we have around, I think, 400 items before in the elementary, and 100 items there were given for the inclusive education.
Yes.
So,
Sir.
for the inclusive education, a part of the 100 items were given to the ALS. We have 30 items.
So that means may future ka sa ALS.
Yes, well, of course.
You will also have your career growth
Yes.
sa ALS.
And we have also the same IPCRF with the formal school system. So, look at what we have in the last quarter of school year 2024-2025. We're also using the PMS.
Okay, so that's it, sir. Actually, that is why we are bringing this podcast, okay, to the public, because there are so many things, okay, that ordinary people do not know or do not understand about us. Hey, there are so many myths, hey, that is mga misunderstandings. So karon ato ning klarohon, we are going to clear this misunderstanding about ALS with our focal person sa division sa ALS, ang atong education program supervisor, the focal person sa atong ALS program sa Schools Division of Zamboanga del Norte. And I know that this is not only true to Zamboanga del Norte but also
The entire Philippines.
the entire Philippines. So one of the myth or misunderstanding that we have ano yung ALS is ALS is just like homeschooling. So may I ask you, sir, to clarify what is the difference kung homeschooling o ALS? Pareha ra ba na siya? Dili na siya pareha o pareha? So,
No. So ours is not really homeschooling, because ours is part of the dependent education, where in fact, we in alternative learning system is the only bureau in the department education that has been legislated in Congress. So we are the first bureau, I think, that has been legislated in Congress. That's why we have Republic Act 11510, and it is guaranteed in the law.
so it is government regulated.
Yes, it
Unlike
is.
sa homeschooling where it is more of some kind of family driven, ang ALS is supervised by DepEd.
DepEd.
So in fact, you are there to supervise
Yes.
sa ALS.
And
sa
then, well, of course,
division.
not only me, but also the district supervisors. And we have also our respective education program specialists for the arts, also supervising these teachers under her or his care.
Okay. So, klaro na. Ang ALS is government regulated,
Yes.
DepEd regulated, unlike sa atong mga homeschooling.
We can
Homeschooling
also
system.
say because we have only to meet our learners once in a week, once in a week. So there is also non face-to-face encounter with our learners, and so they will be bringing modules with them at home. So perhaps that could be one of the misconceptions, that because most of the time our learners are in their respective homes, they're thinking that it is just homeschooling. But no, there is always contact with the learner and the teacher.
Okay, so that's clear. So now, people are looking at us are only for those who drop out. Well, in fact, dili man siguro sir, no? Nga dili ra ni sa mga nang drop out lang ang ALS, because as what you have said, so kita mo gingon sir nga para
Under
po ni sa uban
special
nga
cases.
special cases. Ato ibalik to para maka-campaign pa for those individuals who has special circumstances, na ang ALS is not only for those who drop out but also those na sa mga special circumstances. As unsa ganito mga circumstances sir?
So we will base our definition of special cases, we call it special cases, in our IRR itself, our IRR or Republic Act 1150, or our ALS Act. So we have there under Rule 1 of the General Provision in Section 2, which says there that this IRR shall apply to out-of-school children in special cases, out-of-school youth, and out-of-school adults. This shall include among others, the following indigenous peoples. If they belong to indigenous peoples and they could not attend formal schooling, so they could be admitted to us. Learners with disabilities, then teenage mothers, socio-economically disadvantaged learners. We have also children in conflict of the law. So yung mga learners, yung mga potential learners natin na below 18 years old, below 18 years old.
In conflict with the law.
In conflict of the law, yung mga CICL natin. Yung mga persons deprived of liberty, yung nandoon sa mga jail natin. Mga rebel returnees, learners in emergency situations. So, yung other marginalized sectors who are unable to participate, ito po, yung hindi na-mention sa itaas, ito po, yung who are unable to participate in formal schooling and have not completed basic education. Yan po, sila po covered ng ALS.
So it's really clear that ALS is not only for the dropouts. Those elaborated earlier by our focal person sa ALS, that those people that is having formal yung mga circumstances that prevent them from attending formal schooling. Okay, so sir, ito kasi maraming tao ang hindi ito alam. Yung credentials natin sa ALS, in case mag-college yung bata, acceptable ba sa mga colleges?
Yes, of course. But then you should have to pass through the senior high school program natin. So whether it is from the regular senior high school o itong ating ALS senior high school program, if they have completed and they have graduated the ALS senior high school program or at the mainstream, yung senior high school regular program natin, ay pwede silang mag-college.
Okay, so that's clear ha? So those who graduated grade 12 senior high school ALS, those who graduated senior high school ALS grade 12, mga credentials nila, but they shall pass the accreditation.
No. For senior high school, we have no more A&E test. We have
So
no
wala
more.
na siya. Wala na siya. Klaruhin natin, sir.
So wala siya.
Since when?
So no, for senior high school, we have not given them or administered them with our E&E test. It's only in the elementary
And in
junior high
Sa
school.
senior high school, walang A&E.
Wala
Okay,
na
so
A&E.
it's clear, walang A&E. Anong ganit ng A&E, sir?
Accreditation and equivalency test.
Yes, accreditation and equivalency test is only for the elementary and it's only for the junior high school.
But actually, if I may add, the E&E test was just administered for school year 2024-2025. For the past 5 years, before the school year of 2024-2025, we have only the assessment of our learners for both elementary and junior school, portfolio assessment. So they have to come up with requirements per learning strand. Mayroon tayo dyan, learning strand. If they are compliant with those work samples submitted, well, of course, those authenticated, so authenticated na mga, or authentic na mga work samples per learning strand, they could pass both elementary or if they are in the junior high school, so junior high school po.
So because
Because of the pandemic time.
because their schooling is requires also other forms of assessment.
So we have that assessment called portfolio assessment, of which they will comply with the work samples plus the forms that are required. And then we have also the reading assessment
Yes.
to include with that, to be included in that portfolio. So both English and Filipino.
So they said that ALS is second low quality, second class education. Is it true?
We say that we give them the second chance opportunity, but not second class people.
Yes, that's well said. But the quality of education, it is not also second class. It
No,
is
I don't
not
think
also low quality.
No, I don't think so. It would be dependent upon our learners. Just like in the formal school system, if you maintain that scholastic records, well, of course, there should be persistence and insistence in your schooling. If you are good in academics, then well, of course, you will pass, or you can be given with flying colors. Just like in any endeavor, what will matter would be the learner. So the teacher is there to teach. So what are those given competencies that can be taught, can be assimilated to our learners, but then it could be somehow be dependent on those learners who are attending classes, whether it is in the arts or in the formal school system.
So, pareha lang.
No, I would say
Quality-wise, pareha lang.
I would just like to say in this way, it would be dependent upon those individuals who are into education.
Yes, and it could even be better than formal schooling.
Yes, because they are attaining it in their own pace. So meaning learning could be in an ambience where they could do it alone, but then not only alone because the teachers are always there. But then, as what I have said, it could always be dependent on the learners themselves as they wanted to pursue education.
Okay, so relative to the quality of education, so many people don't know this. So I have to ask this question. ALS doesn't follow a formal curriculum. True or not?
No, definitely no. We have actually our curriculum in 2019, and well, of course, with the matatag, last year I was with those people who actually been into the making of our curriculum for the revision of the 2019 curriculum. You know, time has changed, and so we must have also to adapt with the trends of time, and also the learning environment of our learners. Well, of course, we want to compete globally, di ba? We wanted to compete globally, and that's why we need also to revise our curriculum. And that's why we have our new curriculum in alignment with the formal school system, the K-12 now version with matatag.
Okay.
But then, let's not talk about that matatag, but then it's more on the revised K-12.
Okay, so meaning to say, the competencies that are learned in formal schooling are also the same competencies sa ALS natin.
Yes.
And ang kaibahan lang yung pag-deliver ng instruction, delivery of instruction wherein yung ALS natin is flexible in nature.
And then, if I may add also, there are competencies even outside of the curriculum in the formal school system, because we should have also to align our curriculum with the diversity of our learners. You know, our learners are already married, so most of them are married, and they are already adults, so we should have to adapt or to be compliant with the learning situations of our learners who are already in the maturity age.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir. So, we are talking of community learning centers. This word, it may be foreign to many of us ordinary people, many of the ordinary people that are following us, that are listening to us. Can you explain, sir, what is the nature or the mechanics, the dynamics of our community learning center? Kung saan ba ito, paano ito na-identify, kung saan ilalagay yung community learning centers natin. So, can you elaborate on that?
So we will explain what is community learning center in relation to Republic Act 11510, so that we will not be having misconceptions or other meanings than what are those given in our Alternative Learning System Act. So we have this community learning center. I am bringing with me the IRR of RA 11510, refers to a physical space to house learning resources and facilities of a learning program for out-of-school children in special cases and adults. So in this manner, we have not included youth because of the definition of youth. The ages, kung magtagbo man sila. Yung ano natin, yung children natin, for example, yung child natin o children natin is yung below 17 years old. Tapos yung youth naman natin 15 to 30 yata.
30.
Mag ano siya sa adult. So
Yes.
ginawa dito sa ating IRR ay naging ano na lang siya, children and adults. But then nandoon na rin yung youth doon na paloob na. It is a venue for face-to-face learning activities and other learning opportunities for community development and improvement of the people's quality of life. So mataas masyado yung meaning niya. So yung ano natin, yung types, mayroon kasi yung mga type. So dito sa IRR natin, mayroon tayong 5 types of
Learning centers.
learning centers. So nakakategorize na siya. Dependent po yan sa kung ano yung klase ng community learning center. Example, yung type 1 natin, ito lang po, yung type 1 natin, a simple temporary meeting place with tables, with chairs, or in any open multipurpose area or any private property temporary lent or for learning purposes.
So, hindi siya permanent.
Hindi siya permanent.
Yung type 1.
Yung type 1. Kasi ano yan, open space siya. So, yung mga multipurpose area, yun.
Okay.
So, yun namin, mga covered courts natin, pwede yung magamit. Dyan sila. Yung pangalawa, yung type 2, yung semi-permanent structure. So, 5 po yan, hindi na lang natin isa-isahin lang. Basta yung kategory niya ay dependent po sa anong makikita natin doon sa loob ng community learning center.
So, it is safe to say na yung mga community learning centers natin ay hindi talaga yung mayroon talagang building, mayroon talagang classroom like our formal schooling. Wala talaga.
Mayroon naman, actually, mayroong misconceptions din dyan. So actually, in Zamboanga del Norte, we have our community learning centers actually that are located in our schools. But then those schools, those buildings which we call as community learning center, mayroon tayong tinatawag kasi CLC in a school. Obvious, yung mga CLC natin na nandoon sa mga schools natin ay pinaghirapan ng mga arts teachers natin na hingiin, na gumawa sila ng request from our congressman, yung mga local government units natin, kung saan doon itinayo sa mga schools upang po may identity tayo doon sa loob, kasi pag nandun yan sa loob ng school, pwede rin magamit na sa mga formal school.
Okay.
Yung mga rooms na yan.
So ito,
pwede rin mga churches,
So,
mga purok
ito,
centers.
yung meron talaga because there are really schools na merong mga community learning centers.
Correct.
Ang pagkakaiba lang dyan is ang delivery of instruction wherein yung ALS natin ay catering those that are having challenges, difficulties with their circumstances na nag-need ng flexible learning to be able
Well,
to
in fact,
graduate.
if I may add, Sir Pams, So, just early this year, our director in the alternative learning system, the Bureau of Alternative Education, called me, of which there will be a two-story building
Oh, that's
that
good.
will be erected at Sindangan National Agricultural Integrated School. Certainly for us, we have already our memorandum agreement with the school that they will provide us with 1 hectare out of the 22 hectares in Sindangan. So since Sindangan National Agricultural Integrated School is a farm school, that is a proper venue, an appropriate venue for our arts learners to enjoy, to have that opportunity to use the land of the school with our memorandum of agreement, of which we have already an agreement way back, I think in 2022 pa. But then we have already that budget for next year, our first ever in the region, yung tinatawag natin yung TRIP, yung Third Round Infrastructure Program, yung type ng building na yan ay access type. Memorize ko talaga yan.
Sir, so this is also called a community learning center.
Yes, Community Learning Center.
Akala ko merong ibang pangalan kasi
Nandun sa loob ng
building talaga.
Oo.
But
Kasi ginagamit natin yan, for example, yung mga barangay hall,
yes.
o barangay hall, sa building.
Okay. So, ito sir, I understand that unlike sa ating formal schooling, wherein during enrollment, yung mga bata pupunta sa school, magpa-enroll, yung mga parents magpa-enroll, pero itong hours natin, ang mandate yata natin is, hindi ko sasabihin huhulihin, but we are going to seek those that are not in the formal school. That those people that are special, I will say special circumstances. Now, I know that yung paghahanap natin ng mga bata, paghahanap natin ng ating mga learners, hindi naman kay yung iba, hindi na bata. Paghahanap natin mga learners, how did we do it and what are the challenges? Siguro mayroon kang mga kwento doon na yung mga challenges ng ating mga teachers sa paghahanap ng ating mga learners sa ALS.
So, actually, after the program, so, we will be conducting our mapping and advocacy. So, that's every year. Actually, when in absence before of the 1 month rest or 1 month vacation of our teachers, we do mapping for 2 months. Actually, we do mapping for 2 months after our program. So after completion, there will be mapping or graduation or moving up exercises. After that, we do mapping and advocacy. So there are times when we do it house to house, but then we see to it that we have our contact with DSWD, sa DSWD natin, kasi mayroon yung FBS nila, yung mga pagtawid natin, so mayroon man yan silang mga gathering, doon papasok si ALS para yung mga tao ay nasa lang area. So yung challenge natin dyan, pag walang mga meetings yung barangay. So yun ang mga challenges natin, kasi mag-house to house tayo.
Sir,
Yan ang napakahirap pag house to house.
gaano ba kahirap? How hard it is? Yung mapping natin, yung paghahanap natin ng ating mga learners. In the perspective sa ating mga teachers, gaano ba kahirap?
Nasubukan din natin yan.
Ano ba yung mga experiences nila? Yan na, hihirapan talaga sila.
Nasubukan natin yan. When we went to one of the areas, hindi lang natin babanggitin yung area. Yung nagmamapping na kami, tinatawag din namin yan ALS Caravan. Yung ALS Caravan natin ay yung mga teachers natin ng isang cluster, nagsama-sama sila. Para po pagdating nun sa area, i-disperse na sila sa mga bahay-bahay para marami tayong makuha. Yun ang isa nating paraan dyan. Yung nangyari doon, yung paglampas na namin yung hanging bridge, yung hanging bridge din doon ay napakahirap din. So parang ang lalim-lalim doon sa baba, walang mga railings, dapat ma-estimate mo tayo pag bagsak ng gulong mo doon sa plane, ay hindi ka na lalampas, baka mahulog ka pa. ay mayroong isang beses na yung daan kasi pag ganyan. Tapos namatay yung motor. Hindi yung tao namatay, yung motor ang namatay. Dahil may bato. Yung bato ay nandoon sa daan. So pag lampas na sa bato, namatay yung
Sige, sir, continue.
namatay yung motor. Nagkataon ako ang kasunod. Hindi ko na malampasan kasi nandun sila sa itaas. Kaya yung napandam nila yung motor, umatas ako ng konti. Tapos, pinandar ko na yung motor, hindi niya na kaya yung bato. Kaya na gano'n ako pababa.
It's really
That's one of my
dangerous.
experiences.
Ito, sir. How demanding, how hard it is physically and mentally. Unahin natin yung physically. Yung paghahanap natin ng mga ALS natin, learners. So how mentally, how demanding it is? No, physically muna. So physically, how hard and how demanding it is? Sa ating health, sa lahat na.
For the 7 years of our experience, actually, very resilient na yung teachers natin ngayon.
But it
So-
will really demand physically.
Yes, but then I do believe that when you put your heart in your work, there's nothing impossible. I could see it in the lives of our teachers. Nawala na yung mga nandoon sa program natin na makikita mo natin yung walang commitment talaga. Pagsakay pa lang ng motor, alam mo na wala yung commitment sa trabaho. Kikita mo yan. But then with my experience as vocal for 7 years already, nakikita natin, napapansin natin, masigasig talaga yung ALS teachers natin.
But very, very demanding in terms
Opo.
of physical.
Ang nakikita natin ngayon is not as tedious as before. Because as of now, we have already our ALS learners, yung mga potential ALS learners natin, na nagpupunta na sa mga CLC. At nagtatanong na sa mga barangay
I
kung
see.
kailan yung enrollment. Kaya open na ngayon kasi kita nila na maganda na yung programa ng ALS ang maghatid sa kanila yung second chance opportunity.
So, yan, physically. But mentally, how demanding it is. Yung being, not only sa paghahanap ng nurses, but being an ALS teacher.
Yung napapansin din natin ay tao lang man din tayo. So, napapagod din yung physical at saka yung utak. No? Napapagod din yan. But parati natin sinasabi, yung kagustuhan natin na mag-serve, para sa akin, walang hypocrisy yan. Pag sabihin ko, in the service, yung sa ABCBN, yung in the service of the Filipino people, nag-advertise pa ako, makikita mo talaga na if you put your heart in your work, there's nothing impossible. At para sa akin, I've been roaming the whole province, na mapansin natin, ay dahil sa pagsigasig natin sa programa, para sa akin, hindi ako ng pagod. At nakikita natin yan sa mga ALS teachers. But of course, sabihin natin, hindi nila sinasabi. Magpahilot ka pag na yung katawan mo. Pero sa akin talaga, nakikita natin, yung 130 po na ALS teachers ng Zamboanga del Norte, I could guarantee you na masigasig yan sila. At very resilient.
Pero human as we are, physically and
Napapagod din.
mentally, you will really get tired.
Ganito ang sinasabi ko parati dyan. During convergence, yung sinasabi na synergy. Yung synergy talaga yung sinasabi ko. Napapagod yung katawan mo, napapagod yung utak mo. Pero yung mga taong naniniwala sa iyo, yung mga taong dependent sa programa ng ALS, yun ang nagpapalakas sa atin. At yun ang pinaniwalaan namin sa ALS ng Zamboanga del Norte.
Sir, very well said. Ito, sir. I understand na same curriculum throughout the Philippines, nationwide, sa lahat. Pareho. So, ito. Ano ba ang ginagawa ng Schools Division of Zamboanga del Norte that is unique na masasabi talaga natin na ALS Zamboanga del Norte ito?
Ang pamulaki natin, yung Alcenso sa Norte program natin. That is locally initiated program.
Yes, sir. Will you please explain? Ayun ba yung Alcenso sa Norte? Kasi among ALS teachers, among ALS ALS dito sa region natin. Yung Alcenso sa Norte yata yung pinakamatunog.
Matunog yan, hindi lang dito sa division natin, pati sa central office. Kasi may tagline tayo dyan. Basta magkugi, Alcenso sa Norte. Yung program na yan is a mother program of many sub-programs. Meron tayong tinatawag natin Alsandog Pangkabuhayan program, of which we have connected with agencies of government. For example, meron tayong DTI, yung negosyo center nila. So doon tayo papasok. Mayroon din tayong TESDA at other agencies o mga stakeholders natin na nagbibigay ng livelihood program. Mayroon tayong mga stakeholder, mayroon tayong yung multipurpose cooperative ng teachers cooperative natin.
Yes.
Nagbibigay yan ng sewing machine sa atin. So yun.
So pangkabuhayan.
Pangkabuhayan.
One of the features sa ating Alcenso sa Norte is yung pangkabuhayan.
Pangkabuhayan.
So other things, sir?
Mayroon din tayong ginagawa din yung tinatawag natin na Alsandog Pangkapayapaan program. Yung sa Pangkapayapaan program, ito po ang design ng program for our former rebels. Sinatawag na sila ngayon na Friends Rescued, FR pa rin. So under nung LCAC natin ay marami po tayong mga rebel returnees. Rebel returnees o rebel captured. So mga ganun.
Yung linya na Friends Rescued, sino bang nag-coin dyan?
Yung yan sa AFP.
Sa EFE yan?
AFP.
So,
Noon yan, former rebel. Sabi na parang hindi maganda na mayroong former rebel.
Oh.
So ginawa nila, FR pa rin, pero Friends Rescued. Friends
So,
Rescued.
aside from pangkabuhayan, aside from those mga Friends Rescued, ano pa yung ibang features ng ating
Alcenso sa
Alcenso sa
Norte?
Norte?
Kasi doon sa nagpapansin natin, isa din yan, yung natin, yung sa technology base natin, ay napapansin natin, mayroon tayong digital citizenship, yung LS6 natin. But then again, yung nakikita natin sa ating mga communities na marami ding nagkukulang dyan. So that's why we have also yung Alsandog para sa modernong kalinangan. So ginagamit natin yung technology, nandoon tayo, mayroon ng mga computer sa mga schools.
Yes.
O pinag-ano natin yan. Minamaximize natin yung resources natin, yung sinasabi natin kay yung former superintendent natin, si Roy, no?
Yes.
Na to maximize yung resources natin. Na pwede tayong magtulungan, hindi lang yung sa ALS, kundi we can tap those resources from the formal school system or even in the community. Yung ginagawa natin. Yung ginagawa natin, yung mga nagtapos, for example, sa ating program, at saka yung mga communities, lalo na yung mga barangay officials, hindi masyadong marunong sa computer, yung mga ALS teachers natin, at kumuha din tayo ng mga ICT coordinators ng mga schools, doon pinagtulungan, ginawang training.
So nakabenefit yung mga barangay
Sa community,
officials,
yun ang ginawa
community.
natin.
Okay.
Sa pagtutulungan ng formal school system.
Okay,
So with of course, yung sa ating principal.
So,
yun.
okay. So,
Isa lang din yan. Yung community natin, ganito naman. Community-based program natin, kasi mayroon tayong natawag na community engagement. Yun sa community engagement, nandoon na yun sa LS5, yung sa environmental awareness.
yes.
Kaya po, dahil yung kabataan natin, alam naman natin, dapat maintindihan nila anong nangyayari sa kapaligiran. So, dinadala natin sila, every year, dinadala natin yan sila, doon sa tinatawag namin Alsandog sa kapaligiran, at yung isa, kapaligiran, at saka yung isa, pangkalikasan. So, yung mga programa na yan is free planting lang naman yan. Pero ginawa nating program under sa Alcenso sa Norte. Tree planting at saka yung community clean-up drive
Sige po.
throughout the province of Zamboanga
Sige
del
po.
Norte.
So, it's something unique that we only have here
Yes.
dito sa sa schools
Yung
division
isa,
sa
yung
Zamboanga
nadagdag natin.
del Norte.
Because of your encouragement to the ALS, we have included yung Alsandog Ugkat, yung research ng ALS,
Research,
of which we have
that's
produced,
very good. That's
we have
very-
produced 10 research works.
So,
Dahil sa iyo,
hindi natin kakalimutan na i-archive natin yan sa isa
Yes.
And we will be the first siguro sa Norte na mayroong maraming research sa ALS,
Sa ALS.
na ating ma-archive sa isa
that's why we are very thankful to you, Sir Noni, if I may, because without you, it could not be done. But because of your encouragement, yung mga persistence na encouragement sa amin, kaya nagkaganon. So, nangyari noon na mayroon tayong mga trainings doon, and we are the first one in the region. I don't know with the entire country, but as I've heard, most likely, tayo lang po nagkaroon ng first ever na division ALS Research Congress. Lahat po ALS.
Sige, sir. On that note, kasi wala na tayong time, on that note, parting words, message, inyong message sa inyong mga ALS teachers who are under you, message ninyo sa community at message ninyo para sa lahat ng tao.
So sa ating mga nakikinig po sa ating panayam ngayon, ay nagpapasalamat po ako na nabigyan po tayo ng panahon para maipaliwanag po yung alternative learning system. Sa ating mga ALS teachers, alam ko naman yung pinagsamahan natin. So walang duda yung kakayahan ninyo, walang duda po yung pagkasigasin nyo, yung commitment natin sa trabaho. Yung sa ALS learners natin ay patuloy ang buhay, patuloy ang ating pangarap, at sana magkita tayo sa susunod na mga araw na magkaroon na kayong matiwasay na buhay. At sa ating mga community, at doon sa ating mga LGUs na nandyan, napakikita natin ang mga kakulangan sa ALS, especially with our resources. So, magtulungan po tayo, mga tao din yan, mga constituents natin yan sa ating mga barangay, sa ating municipalities, at even dito sa ating probinsya. Sila po ang future natin na mga leaders ng society. Magtulungan po tayo, paglabanan natin ang kahirapan, at sa amin sa ALS, basta magkugi, Alcenso sa Norte.
Okay, so on that note also, this is an hour with Sir Noni, podcast edition, your gateway to knowledge where complex ideas are being cleared and becoming clear insights. So, your curiosity has been sparked, your understanding of ALS has been expanded, and we have learned together. Sir, basta
Magkugi, Alcenso sa Norte.
Thank you very much and good morning. Wala to. Ako pa rin.